The metric system. Measuring in centimeters and millimeters. You have all received a metric ruler that looks like this. Let's take a look at it before we measure some objects. Remember that a ruler has two sides. It has a side with inches and it has a side with the metric system. We will be using this side, and as you look you can even see that it labels these increments 1, 2, 3 centimeters. So something this long would be 1 centimeter. Something this long would be 2 centimeters. You have all received a paper that looks like this. Let's do a couple of sample problems to make sure that you can measure in centimeters. You can tell that they want you to measure these in centimeters because it says cm at the end of where you're going to put your answer. Now look at the eraser that is on your paper right here. Let's measure the length of it in centimeters. So place your ruler by the eraser and notice you put the edge of your ruler even with the edge of the object you are going to measure. You can tell that you're going to put it here because right here is the 5 millimeter mark for 3, so you wouldn't want to start measuring from here. You want to start measuring from the end of the ruler. Now go up the way and see how long it is. 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters. Now if you look, it is past the 4 by 2 little marks. So what it is 4 centimeters and 2 millimeters. So it's 4 and 2 little ones. So we would write our answer 4.2 centimeters. The answer is 4.2 centimeters. Now let's do the object next to the eraser. Again, notice they want the answer in centimeters. So put your ruler with the edge at the end of the object you are going to measure and get a measurement of how long this stick is. It is more than 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4. It's longer than 5 centimeters. How many little marks past the 5? I see 1, 2, 3 little marks past the 5. So it is 5.3 centimeters. Now let's do one more example, and I always want you to measure these as long as possible. So for this hair clip, you would measure from this end all the way up to as long as possible to the ends of the little pins here. So put your ruler on the hair clip with the edge even with the edge of the picture, and let's look at how long this hair clip is. It is 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters, longer than 7 centimeters, but not 8 centimeters. So it would be 7, and it looks like 4 little ones past the 7. So your answer would be 7.4 centimeters. Now look at the rest of these objects on this paper and measure them in centimeters. For some of the objects, you are going to need to use the ruler and double the ruler. For an example, for the file, up to right here is 18 centimeters. So then you would start from here, and the distance you get over here you would add to 18, and that would be your total length of the file. Now, after you have had an opportunity to measure in centimeters, let's look at millimeters. So turn your paper over and go to this side. The first thing we are going to measure is these lines on the top of your paper, and as you can see, we're going to measure them in millimeters, mm. The first line we are going to measure is AB. So as I look at the lines on my paper, here is A to B. Let's measure how long that line is by using the metric. Now place your ruler on line AB, and again remember, put the end of the ruler by the beginning of the line. Now let's take a look at this metric ruler. Remember that this is 1 centimeter, but there are 10 millimeters in each centimeter. So up until here would be 10 millimeters. This would be 10 and 10 more. This is 20 millimeters. 30, 40, 50, 60. From here to here, 70 millimeters. So your answer for line AB when measuring in millimeters is 70 millimeters. Next, let's look at line CD. After finding line CD and placing your ruler on it, measure CD in millimeters. And here again, you can see that this would be 10 millimeters, 20, 30, it goes up to 4 centimeters, so that would be 40 millimeters. Your answer for line CD is 40 millimeters. Next, let's look at line EF. After finding line EF and placing your ruler on it, let's take a look at how long EF is. As you can see, we don't even get to 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters. We don't get that far. Here is the 5 millimeters line, and it looks like we go 2 lines past the 5, so that would be 5, 6, 7 millimeters long. So your answer for line EF is 7 millimeters. Now do the rest of this paper in millimeters. Don't forget again to always measure as long as possible in the different pictures. So for an example, the ring down here, you would measure from up here down to here, because that would be as long as possible. Also, after putting down your number, do not forget to put mm for millimeters after your number.